All right. I got a picture to show you and something out of the Bible that explains God's anger kindled. I have the proof his anger is kindled. So if anybody doesn't say it is, you might want to watch around what's going on in the world. Okay, so here's the picture of God's anger kindled, and then I'll go and show you what it says in the Bible about it. I got this is white light of him in the clouds, and out of his nostrils comes fire, two streams of fire. And in there's face. Let me see where it is. Right there. There it is. And there's his anger kindled out of his nostrils. I'm going to go prove to you this talks about God when God is looking on the earth out of a cloud. There's a face. So, and there's the white light. I just put that on Facebook because I've been looking for it. I found so much more there. Okay, I'm going to show you some pictures from 6 years ago as well. So, but I'm going to show and prove to you that that's God. Okay, and I just read it. That's why I'm coming here. And out of, okay, so this is in Job 41:9. Out of his mouth go burning lamps. Out of his mouth comes burning lamps. How you doing, Cormac? Did you saw that picture, eh? That's a mind blower. That's God's anger kindled. And there's a face in it too. And then look, out of his nostrils comes fire. That's what's two streams coming out. So, and sparks of fire leap out of it. And out of his nostrils goeth smoke, fire and smoke. Oops. Okay, and then I just did one. I found the Ark of Noah. Did you know there was a whole town built around that ark when Noah landed, and they hid that. And nowadays they're teaching about the arks. They're not telling you the full truth about it nowadays. So I have the full truth of that on here. It was found exactly where the Bible said it was, with a city that is the same age as the ark is. It was about 1 million homes. So that's where he settled the antediluvian Noah. Okay. He settled there and he built a whole city around the ark, proving, and they hid that. They took that out of there. So if you go and look for the ark of the for the ark, Noah's ark now, they changed it. And I have something where they didn't. Before they did. I did it like 6 years ago. Before they changed it, I kept it. So, oh no, I went off of what I needed to do because okay, so I heard someone say, and that's my is anger enkindled. Look around the world. Okay, the whole entire Pacific Rim, underwater and above water, is on fire, including Canada has one of the biggest volcanoes on this earth, and it's bubbling. Okay, and they're not telling us. Of course, they're hiding it. If they start going and throwing all the volcanoes that are active right now, people would be running to God. I watched a movie last night, The Case of God. Did you know scientists proved of God? The biologists and the astrophysics people proved of God. Okay. I have a story on that. I should send you the link of it, Cormac. I can actually text it to you. And the proof of Jesus Christ, his proof, I added so much more proof to Jesus Christ than he did. Okay. But he knew other things that I didn't. So I mixed mine and his together, and wow. 500 people witnessed Jesus Christ coming to them after he resurrected at one time. You can discredit if it's one or if it's two. And because a woman found his tomb empty, they discredited the woman back then. Because back then the woman wasn't allowed to speak at all. But they said, well, we know that his body's missing, but someone stole it. You see, they covered it up. They've been covering stuff up since the beginning of time. Oh, it's going to. That's why they called for a dark winter, by the way. You got to listen to the government. The 1,000 points of light that Bush talked about and Obama talked about are right in your skies. So, have you done this yet, Cormac? You see those three lighters in the night? You ever see those in your sky? They got one light on the top, two on the bottom. You ever see those? Go outside and start watching them. They'll all bunch will appear in front of you and they'll just start moving everywhere. And you'll be going like, whoa. But God tells me, do not pay attention to them. They're the light bringers. Doesn't mean they're God. People think, oh, I have visitation from God. It was this light being. That's not how he visits you. He visits you through your heart and you hear him and you feel him. And also when your soul comes out of your body and you're watching it from your body, that's God. That's not me being astral trapped by the world and taken away by demons. No, that's not. Some people have those encounters are very similar to what God gives them for an encounter. So I hope you get a visitation in your dream, Cormac. I pray for you guys always to get that because their dreams are just unreal. When you get a dream from God, you know it's from God. I don't even have to question. Yeah. And don't pay too much attention because then that's what they do. Once you start watching them, wow. I went out to take the garbage the other night and there was things all over. And God said, just keep going because now you've got their attention. They know you're watching them. And when you're watching them, they try to do a spectacular air show in front of you. And they do. And that's to ooh and awe you and get you interested in them. Don't be getting interested in them. Don't be taking pictures of them. I've got pictures of them through the night, right? So where did I find that? Oh yeah, right. Oh, good. I did it. I took. So this is 6 years ago. That's at night, by the way. It's a brown barrel, just like Ezekiel speaks. You see how it's kind of a brown color, and it also looks like a barrel, doesn't it? Quite crazy. Ezekiel explains that in the Bible as a brown barrel. Huh? Doesn't that look like a barrel? Like half of it, right? If you were to put the exact thing opposite, it would look like a barrel, wouldn't it? Brown barrel. Okay. There's the destroyer. Each day is a different day. I don't, and it has wings on it. I've showed you many pictures of that. Look at it. It has wings just like the Egyptians drew on the wall. A big sun with eagle wings behind it, deploying demons on top of their head. The Egyptians. Snakes were coming down at their head from this thing. That's what's coming on the earth. Not Nibiru, not Planet X, not the blue Kachina, not the red Kachina. Those are angels. Okay? So they put their names on them. Is the blue Kachina in the Bible? No, it's not. Therefore, that's garbage. Okay? I'm going to show you some more. Another day, and it's coming out of the bush with wings on it, with its red orb around it, proving that reflection is a reflection of that object. Because when I take it away, that redness leaves the reflection. When I come back, it highlights it out of the trees, and there it is. It's not the red hue, it's the white one. It's looking kind of white because of the reflection. Let me get that reflection to stop moving. There you go. Oh, you can't say that God did not give me pictures of the destroyer for a reason, and these people are not teaching it. I listened to Paul Begley last night, and now they're not saying the destroyer anymore, right? I'm really good right now. I'm back to full, back to feeling full. Like, so I'm doing teachings out of Job. It also says his light cometh out of the cloud, right? I have quite a good teaching out of Job today. Job is really good. It talks about us having to sin to get rid of it. We have to transgression. What when you're a Christian and you sin, that's transgressing. Okay? God calls it transgressing. But we have to transgress, like I've been telling you guys in some cases. Don't go saying, oh, I got to go sin now because God will forgive me. That is evil. The book of Job just, man, I could have circled the whole entire book. So I'm going to start at the beginning of it, okay? That this is going to be more than one teaching, by the way. There's so much good words. Like, look at the pages. I'm, I'm like going, wow, 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 wow. Okay. So, and then another picture coming through the trees of the destroyer with its red hue. There's the brown barrel. Oh, ha ha ha, Mexico. Ha, ha, ha. Same thing in Mexico. You could tell palm trees and ocean. I don't have that. Has its own light. And down at the bottom, I didn't realize, but the destroyer was over here. I'm going to pause it when it gets there. That is a light. That is a light angel, okay? An angel of light. But I am going to, I have to pause it when it gets to the part where I found where the destroyer is. And I didn't actually know it was there until there it is. Ah, there it is. So I had to pause it because, oh, come on, give it to me as light. Anyways, here's the destroyer in the far bottom corner. You see it? The yellow one. I had to pause it because it goes, I didn't realize, or else I would have focused. I can't retake this. This is in Mexico. So proving that it's not swamp gas. It's called the destroyer. It destroys things. Look what's happening to the earth today. Did you know there's so many volcanoes going off right now? And they're hiding the ones under the ocean. I'd say there's about 50 or 60. The entire Pacific Rim, like the Bible said, will be on fire. It is on fire. Go and look it up. And then Mike said last night, uh, they're gonna go and share this because now that I've shared it, the news is gonna. I turned on, because I have one channel that shows things of their news, and I turned it on exactly what Mike said. Oh, there's more volcanoes, bad ones going to erupt, just like Mike said. Every time Mike says something, it happens. I have witnessed many of his prophecies come true. And the one time I doubted it, I got I woke up in the morning and there it was. Yeah, that means he's been here. Remember, he fell with the falling angels. He is the leader of the falling angels. Satan, there's also someone that's above Satan. They're called the three spirits that come out of the mouth of frogs. And one of them is lust. So now you see what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with something worse than Satan. So you try to deal with something worse than Satan. It's bad enough dealing with stuff of Satan, not one of these three that come out of the mouth like frogs. I'm dealing with one of those. People don't understand. Them who are weak, them who are the least, will be greatest. Them who are last in the kingdom of God will be first. Them who the foolish confound the wise, the babes confound the wise, the weak confound the wise. I heard Paul Begley say, I got two really good guests come on, so now I have to jack the price of my tickets up. And I'm thinking, you can have the most highest speakers on that don't even know partial what I do. And it's not what I know, it's what's been given to me. It's not, I don't know nothing, but that it's come from heaven. Okay, so God's teaching through the babes, God's teaching through the donkeys, God's teaching through the weak, God's not teaching through these people that they say, oh, I'm having these mighty teachers come on. Well, good for you. I don't pay for God's word. God will give it to you. That's why people are here. Sexual sin is one of the toughest sins to deal with because it's what happened in the Garden of Eve. It's what cursed the whole world. Satan beguiled her. You know what beguiled means? To lie with. So when Steve Quayle, he doesn't even understand that, but go and read First John, where it says he was born of the wicked one. That's not God. I just don't understand. And we're going to get ready to go through a meteor shower. And by the summer, this whole world's going to be on fire, by the way. It's going to be a dark, hard winter with all these volcanoes. And what's causing it? The destroyer. Right there. The destroyer in Mexico, just as well as in Canada. Many pictures that God has given me. And it's not for me. It's to share to you guys. And nobody's out there teaching the destroyer's coming. Did you notice? I'm one of the only ones. Mike flapped it off a couple times. And Paul Begley went, when he said the destroyer, isn't it Planet X? Isn't it Nibiru that's coming? No, the destroyer. Mm. You know why? Because I told Paul Begley, I sent him these pictures and he stuffed them under the carpet because he wants high-end teachers. For that is pride. For that you will not get the answers. For pride. God resists the proud. I have no pride in this at all. I love doing it, as you can see. I'm a fire and brimstone teacher. There's not enough of them. Oh, they're all speaking all mild and meek. But you know what? It's not that I'm not speaking mild and meek. It's that I'm very serious and I put everything into what I teach you guys. And I love doing it. I do it for no money. I do it for no favor. Oh, by the way, Captain Rabbit, scientists proved that God is real and Jesus. And the biochemists, I have a story for you. You might want to look up there, buddy. You might want to watch what you say about God and Jesus because you will be struck down. Mount Ararat, they found the the ark of Noah a long time ago, exactly where God said it was. And Noah's people built a city around that. Jesus Christ is proven by the scientists, bro. So you better get with the program soon, or boom, boom, boom. Because what's coming down on you, because you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you don't believe in God. So I'm done with that argument of yours. Yes, it is. Bible says it is. Look at the world. There's 40 some volcanoes, just like the Bible said. You can't discredit the Bible. Go ahead and try. Even the science couldn't discredit it. Even the science believe in it. I have a show that you might want to watch there, Buckwheat. And I'm being like this because you're not going to come in here and tell me this isn't the end. I am teaching what the Lord has given me. If you're going to come here and teach against me, it's time to leave. I don't put up with that anymore. I'm very serious about your salvation. I have word from God, dreams with Jesus in them. Don't think I'm sitting here making up a story. because I don't make up stories. So get it right. You better get it right, because if you don't believe in Jesus, you don't believe in God. Because God, Jesus is the Word. He walked with God. He is God. God's Son put on this earth. You can't fight that. BC means before Christ, before he was born. How did Enoch 1700 years say, a man cometh and die on a cross? Impossible. You can say one or two things. Oh, those may be coincidence, but thousands in the Bible? Thousands, bro. Pick up a Bible and start reading it. See what it does to you. It will change you. How far? Oh, yeah. Also, by the way, is through Jesus. Captain Rabbit, you better close your mouth and just listen, brother. You are so far off that you're going to be eaten up by demons. You don't believe in demons? I can show you pictures of them having sex with women if you want to see. I've had them come and touch me. And I'm lying and making up a story to you? No, I'm not. I don't come here to lie and make up stories. Christians don't lie. And if they do, they're the fake Christians that says many come in my name. Just like the Bible said. God's fiery indignation in the Bible. I'll show you exactly. God is thunder, by the way. So when you're hearing thunder, he's talking. He created the thunder. He creates the rain. He makes the ice. He makes the snow. You. And his son's come to redeem you. He is the Redeemer. Okay, so you might want to watch this, because this is wicked proof of God. It's not proof, it's fact. Did you know Darwinism is theology? Is theoryology? That's not fact, by the way. He's gone against us because you're not listening. You're saying there's no Jesus, therefore you're condemned right now. You're going straight to the pit of hell until you find Jesus. Submit yourself to Jesus now, because if you don't, every knee will bow to him. You're going to go, oh, I wish I would have believed in you. Well, you're a dark spirit and turn dark and evil, and then Satan comes and eats you from head to toe, day and night, for the rest of your life. Do you want that? I don't think so, brother. You better start believing in Jesus. You better start looking back and finding the true truth of Jesus. His blood was found, by the way, and it's still alive. The life is in the blood because Jesus knew it. Also, the life is in the blood because when they test it, they can see whatever's wrong with you. Our body is wonderfully made. We have weapons inside us working every day that's impossible to be chanced, by the way. We didn't come out of a water. We didn't come from a monkey. If you came from a monkey, then you're a monkey's uncle. How come the rest of the monkeys aren't turning into humans? They never did find the missing link, by the way. That's fake. Just like they faked that Jesus, there's proof that he came out of there. Go look at the churn. Come on, buddy. I can find you proof all day proving that Jesus and God are real. And if you're going to sit there and be ignorant to it, then you will be destroyed by God. No, you're not. Apes have nothing, no DNA like us. They don't even have a nose. They don't have fingerprints. What do you think fingerprints are? Why do fingerprints only match you? Why does your DNA only match you? Because you were wonderfully made by God in heaven. Don't even come into my room if you're going to go and talk. You have no idea. Keep your mouth closed if you're going to be in here. I'm done with your little things saying. We aren't apes. If you were an ape and you didn't have a conscience, apes don't have a conscience. They have sex right in front of people. Are you that? No, you have a conscience. No, it hasn't. It has not been debunked. It's been debunked as Jesus Christ came through that. He radiated through it. It's impossible for anything else to happen. You need to know the truth. That has not been debunked. They're debunking it, and you are making it so it suits you. Get out of my room. I'm done with you. Goodbye, Captain. I've tried. I worked. I love you. I'm trying. Google it. Get out of here. Goodbye. Sorry. I'm done with you. I cannot. You need to disconnect yourself. If you don't find Jesus, you're going to die by Jesus. Get out. Sorry, guys. I love you too, man. I'm sorry, guys, but bye. I can't deal with these people that think they know every. Oh, it's debunked, 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 debunked. You're blind and silly. You're blind by your evil. You're blind by your unbelief. You'll never have the truth. You're going to believe in man that's been lying to us since the time of the starting of time. Keep believing man, and Jesus will come down and he'll hammer you. He comes with a rod of iron. You're going to die by his hand because you don't believe in him. And sorry, guys, I'm not trying to be like this, but I'm a hell fire brimstone teacher. I'm serious about what I do. I do thousands of hours of research, Captain Rabbit. So you can't even contain. You do 14 hours of research every day? No, you don't. Don't try to tell me you do. Has Jesus come into your dream? Obviously not, or you would have believed in him. If you don't believe in him, oh yes, very scary. Your death comes from that, from not believing in him. God said, you have to believe in my son, or there's no entry. You will be hewing down, brother. You will go straight into hell. You don't think there's hell? Highway to hell, ACDC, Antichrist, Devil, Child. He died 2 weeks after he wrote that. Man, I've got so much information. You might want to go watch this. Lee Strobel, The Case for the Creator on documentary. Bioscience, even the astronomers, even the scientists said everything is impossible unless there is God. I can't see nothing you're telling me because everything you're telling me is a lie. Quit coming in my room and trying to train the people that are learning from God. We don't want to learn from man. You're man. You don't believe in Jesus. You will be destroyed by him. I'm telling you right now. Get ready because it's coming and it's on your doorstep. And he ain't going to be friendly. He doesn't come back to bring friendliness and peace. He comes back to take the people that don't believe him off this earth. It's happened many times. Yes, he would. If you're sitting there having sex with, you are so blind, dude. If you're sitting there having sex with little children, that couldn't be God to let you in heaven. If you're sitting there murdering people, that you're not going to heaven. Face the facts, bro. God doesn't take every single person to heaven. Who are you to tell God who he is? Unless you picked up the Bible, you can't even open your mouth and try to discredit me on my channel. I'm tired of that. I'm not here telling you stories. I've done lots of research for 7 years, thousands of hours, bro. Go look at how many shows I made. You don't think the Lord is speaking through me? I wouldn't be on here if he wasn't. That's, you know what, man? You need to go watch the show. Scientists, bioscientists, and astronomers, they see heaven. They have a camera that's watching the heavens right now, and it's called Lucifer, by the way. The Pope. And everywhere he goes, people die, this Pope. Okay. So, anyways, and I'm not here to try to yip and yell and scream and yip and yell and scream at you. That's not what I'm doing, buddy. I'm being very bold and very strong. I don't believe my words. I know they are. Oh, I know NASA's trolling me. I have pictures of the destroyer. You've seen it, Captain. That's in the Bible. Everything I give to you people is I have the proof to back it up scientifically. biology and astrophysics say there's a God and he doesn't save evil. You're either, do you want me to take you to that? You're either born of God or you're not. That's it. You're born of the wicked one or you're born of God. Try to hope that you're born of God, brother. I don't have, I have hope for you. And the hope is Jesus Christ. He came, he died on the cross for your sins. Proven fact, he resurrected 500 people, seeing his resurrection body at once. Okay. So I can say if one or two people only saw it, maybe they're discredited. Maybe they're just telling stories. But 500 people, impossible, brother. I've seen him in my dreams 6 times, brother. Just like the Bible said. So if you think I'm telling stories, why do you keep coming back? I don't want you to leave the room, bro. Okay? Yeah, the Nephilim are the fallen angels. They're demons. Even the scientists and the astronomers say there's no other life on any other planet. There's no all these galaxies, like you said. God said one universe, not 5 million of them. They're uninhabitable. Watch that show. It's called A Case for the Creator. Full documentary. Okay, The Case for the Creator. Full documentary. It's got to be lead. This guy is a scientist. He never believed in God. And he married a woman and she did. And he goes, you know what? I used to tear things apart when I was a kid to find out what created it and how it was created. And he dabbled into it. And many scientists, these scientists that are here are fake scientists, by the way. They're liars. They're going on all the other scientists, but they don't tell you what all the scientists say at the end. There's no way that could be done without a creator. Impossible. We're not monkeys. We're not apes. How come apes aren't still evolving? Come on, man. What happened to evolution? Even Darwin's theory proves his theory wrong. You need to watch that show, brother. You see, I'm trying to help him, and I'm very serious about you guys, right? Well, he's been coming in and out of this channel. You've seen Cormac for like 6 months now. God keeps sending him back to this channel. And some people need proof, but my proof is not needed. I watched that show just because it was interesting to find out how many scientists say there's no way that your body and the way it protects you, it's impossible to be random chance for that. You might need to watch that documentary, Cormac, and I'll send it to you, okay? It's mind blowing. It's information that a Christian scientist, he used to be a scientist. He's got plaques all over his walls and a bioscientist, by the way. So he's a scientist and a bioscientist, very high. Been doing it very long. Now he's all preaching because he's seen that God is real. So some people might be of God, but they need some proof. If they go and watch the proof that I have, Noah's Ark, oh, that's been debunked. No, it hasn't. It has that it's Noah's Ark. There's no way back in the antediluvian that ship can even be built today. You cannot build the Noah's Ark. It was like a huge air bubble. It could toss and turn, it could even roll and still not fill with water. Okay. And the door was so great and so big that only God could have closed that door because the rains were flooding him and God closed the door. There's no way it didn't have a jacking system or nothing. Okay. It's crazy, these people that think they know it all. But you pick up a Bible and you'll realize you know nothing. I know little. I know very little. You know how long? Each time you read the Bible, you read it once, You get lots out of it. You read it twice, you get lots out of it. Three, you get more out of it. Four, you get more out of it. Yeah, I know. He sealed it too. He had to, or else it would have got water and sank. Yeah, inside and out. It was like a rolling tube. So no matter what happened to it in the ocean, it wasn't going down. And God said he had it by his hand anyway. So God would, if God would have let that ship go down, you wouldn't be here today, or none of us would be here. That's where life started again. Okay. And some of the Nephilim come through the children, the children, the wives that the Noah's sons had. They had them in them, the tears in them as well. So, and they also hid and found places to get away from the flood. Uh, who knows how they devised their ways, but they're here today as they were before the flood. Look at Oprah Winfrey's feet. Go punch it in. She's got 6 toes on either foot. She teaches against God, not God. She said, "There's no Jesus. There's many ways to heaven," she said. And one lady stood up and said, "There's only one way." She had a Bible in her hand, and and Oprah Winfrey went and said, "Oh, we got to go to commercial," and they booted her out. By the way, and that's what the Bible said, and it's there today. And now they're discrediting it. I have the real story of it. But I looked at their story of it today, and it doesn't match almost anything of the story that I have when they first found it. Okay. Yeah. And I'm not turning people away. Have you seen my numbers of my subscriptions just been going up every day? Crazy. Sometimes for months they didn't move. Now every day there's 2 or 3 people, and I don't do this for popularity, by the way. This is nothing to do with popularity, pride, or nothing. This is because I love the people. You can see I almost got like Captain. You know what? I'm very serious about what I do. I take it seriously. I take your soul and his. And I said, don't leave. Because we need to keep teaching him. Obviously, he keeps coming back to the room. It's just he comes in with the same answers every time. And I don't want to hear those answers. I don't want you to be sitting here discrediting. Okay. Do you think he may be of NASA and he's discrediting me? He said NASA is discrediting you. God didn't drown innocent babies, by the way. Everyone that was taken was evil. See, you see, that's discrediting. God doesn't kill people, He takes them home. If God's taken you home, isn't that what you want? Maybe what? So let's go on to, okay. And here it is in 2016 giving its own light off. It's not the sun. See how the sun has that? Well, so does this. It has its own light in Mexico, okay? I also have this one just sticks out like a sore thumb. And the light's going through it, by the way, proving it's not Photoshop. The sunlight is going through it. Man, I couldn't do that stuff. I can barely run my YouTube, let alone Photoshop something I have all over the world and spend hours photoshopping. Man, I got better things to do. Look at the light from the sun rays going right through that, by the way. That I know is impossible to do. And this one has teeth. I had pictures of that for many years. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Mm. Okay, so let's see what I got on here. I'm gonna do some teaching on a Job. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm not gonna take any person in here discrediting. Oh, do I have the full truth of it all? No, but I have done so many hours of study, and I'm not here to be discredited in front of you guys. Okay, you can't discredit what I have. I have pictures. I have much proof in Jesus and much proof in God. And if you don't believe in it, go and watch the story that the scientists, the biologists, and the astrophysics physicists say there's a God. None of this by random chance. All your body, there's billions and billions and billions. It couldn't have been without a creator in you. The things that are protecting you, the fight that's going on inside your body, the things that protect you, impossible to be random chance for that. They're like mechanisms like no other machine on this earth that's inside of you that operate 24/7 a day in you. Without them, we wouldn't be alive. Adam's love holds us together. Our atoms is held together by love. If the love is removed, no one's going to be held together because it's going to be a hell on earth. Get ready for that. Yeah. Also, around their logo is a snake tongue. So that'll say it all. And then their logos inside of it is masonaries. The Masons are in the Bible since the starting of time. These people that come to try to discredit you. Listen, that who do we know who that Captain Abbott really is? You know what? They're not going to the news anymore. They're coming to these places to find the truth because we get accuracy that is not able to be gotten unless you're of God. No, by random chance, and that show will prove that it's impossible. It would have been billions and billions of things. Even where we sit, we're the only planet that has life, by the way. There's no other galaxies, there's no other that, this and that. In the Bible, there's one universe. There's not 500 of them. They try to say there's 500 of them because there's got to be life on one of those, but no, we're in a Goldilocks zone. And every other if we were an inch that way or an inch this way wrong, we wouldn't be here, by the way. The random chance of that is impossible. It's billions to one. Okay. And the firmament, yeah. The firmament is made of four different things. There's a magnosphere, there's an atmosphere, there's a stratosphere, and I can't remember the other one. Magnet, atmosphere, stratosphere. There's one more. Yeah. And it's built in layers, okay, to protect us from the sun. There's no way, unless we were protected by God, that we'd even be alive today because of the sun's rays. With magnosphere stops those sun's rays from coming through, but now it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. They're getting through. Thus, hence, I got pictures of it. Hold on, I'm gonna go grab some. Oh, those don't hurt the earth. Yes, they do. Well, I need to hear it from a scientist. So I sent him 5 things from scientists saying that the auroras hurt the earth. Well, and you know what else he did? Block me right there. Because them who don't love the truth love a lie. Okay. And the Bible explains that many times. If you don't love the truth, well, what is Jesus? I'm the way, the truth, and the life. You don't love Jesus. So what that all these volcanoes, oh, just go out and smell the flowers while there's bombs over top of your head. That's wickedly dangerous to listen to someone like that. Them who love the world have enmity with God, angry separation with God. You're out teaching the people to go smell the flowers and play in the grounds, and well, there's nuclear bombs over top of your head. Shame on that person for teaching that. That person will have the blood required of them for doing that. Teaching people to be worldly with a joint in your mouth? No wonder why. Peace and love. I don't come to bring peace, Jesus said. I come to bring a sword. Oh, just go out and enjoy the earth and enjoy the world. Love the world. It's beauty and all this other thing. Shut up, man. You're telling people to love the earth. So they're going to listen to you because they have itchy ears and they like to hear. Listen, God is against the woman, okay, the Jezebel spirit. He says, I am against the woman that sew pillows and hunt their souls to teach them to fly. He is against rapture. He is against that doctrine of Jezebel, the woman. There was another time, there's many times I read that about the woman that caused all this stuff. That's the Jezebel spirit fornicating God's word with baloney. Yeah, and you can see the wires and they mess up sometimes. Oh, of course. Oh, of course. Even some of the biggest ones said they didn't go to the moon. To a 6-year-old child that asked them, what's his name? He died. One that supposedly traveled to the moon. He was a mean old man. Anybody that ever confronted him on that, he punched him in the face. Buzz Aldrin. Okay, so yeah, and he's punched many people in the face that said, Did you really go to the moon?" Ah, no, don't get into that. You know right away that he's discredited, and God took him for all the lies. Satan took him because he gave himself over. Buzz Aldrin, yeah, same guy on the Toy Story. If you watch the Toy Story movies, wow, it's the same thing. The boy is the creator, and the toys are us. You ever watch the movies they're putting out today, and you can't debunk that we live in the end time? It's gonna be okay. That's what this guy just said. Oh, it's gonna come to an end, but it's gonna be okay. So you're contradicting yourself by saying that. Okay. And they want to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth because they love a lie. If you don't, oh, here's, yeah, more pictures. Oh, I got a video. Let's see what this video is. Come on. This is the lying sign and wonder, I'm going to tell you, by the way. This stuff is tricking people. Well, those are alien ships. No, they're not, dummy. HARP does things in the sky. Sorry, no, they're not. Blind person, that's not going to show it. It's going to sit there and keep doing that. I'm just going to give it some time. But, anyways, we're going to start off in Job. I have to do some Bible teaching. And Job is amazing. The story of Job. Okay, so we're going to start right from the beginning of the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. Job did it in his heart continually. How did he do it? By cursing man. Okay, so it explains he kept cursing the men. Some of the problems that I have that I've been asking the Lord to work me on. All right. So, like I said, I'm not perfect, man. There's no way. So it won't let me show this, and it's blowing my mind. Anyways, so if you learn the story of Job, wow, it's powerful, man. So, no. There was a day when the sons of God came into the presence of themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Goes to tell you, Satan's at every corner that you look, and he's not leaving. He's there to try to kill you, and it's not going to work if you're God's children. Okay. God said, every tree that I didn't plant is going to be hewn down. It's not of him. Okay. Proving that Adam and Eve's sin was a sexual sin, and she was beguiled and lied with him. And I don't like to talk a lot about it because people go, "Oh, I'm out of here. That's a lie." And that's why I'm stopping right there. Okay. So we're in Job right now. That was 6. 7. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? This is the question you asked. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, you get it? And walking up and down it. He's a spirit. He can go in, he can go up, he can walk on the top, he can walk in the middle, he can walk in the water. He could be in the water swimming next to people before they all. Leviathan is one that's in there. That's part of his army that God uses against the ships of in the ships of Shittim, right? So God will use Leviathan, and all these crazy things are actually washing up, and they're like, wow, we didn't know that stuff was in the ocean. Exactly, because you can't get to the bottom of it. God didn't want you to go there. Because if you could go to the bottom of the earth, you would see Satan's dominions under there getting ready to be released. God doesn't want you going to the furthest of the middle of the earth or the heavens. He said they'll try to get there, but he'll cast them down. He doesn't want you to get to the third heaven. You can't steal it. There's no way you can get through 2 radiation belts and also the astral belt. Nothing can go through that. So I don't even know how this Hubble has gone through that. There's no way. There's an asteroid belt with millions and millions of things. There's no way. God put it there. And the 2 radiation belts, if any mechanical machine went in there, go boink, and it would drop. It wouldn't even work anymore. It would just go boink, lights out. Okay. So he's also loosened the Pleiades and the Orions right now. Okay, so anyways, let's keep going back to this. And that's what's coming down on us. So he asked Satan what, and he asked Satan, Satan said, I've been coming to and fro. And he answered the Lord and said, going from in the earth and from walking up and down the earth. He's bored. He couldn't find, it was too easy for him. And he said, did you ever see my servant Job? Servant Job. Okay, so he'll go into this. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man? He had problems, though, if you read at the beginning. But God's covering those sins for all that you did. If you do things in love and charity, you cover many sins. You help save a soul. Do you know how many sins that covers? You covereth the sin so that no, it doesn't be bared to the whole world, and he throws it away. As you're doing a sin, the next day he covers it and throws it away. If you truly get on your hands and knees and repent, and I cry out to him constantly with my sin. Okay, you guys don't. People, some people don't even understand what it is to fight sexual lust. It's worse than Satan. Okay. So Satan and the fallen angels fell, but there was these three when God made, he had Jesus was with them right from the start. Also those 3 unclean spirits were, because he set them in motion on purpose to bring his children home, to scare his children home. See, people, oh, God's killing my children. No, he's not. He's taking them from suffering the things that are to come on this earth, the things that are here. And people look at it wrong. Oh, blame you, God. Yet your kid isn't even your kid from what God says. They're not your children. They're his children. You're only raising them up. You're the one raising them up. People, And I'll tell you right now, atheists believe in God. Okay. I can tell you right now, they're just mad at him, blaspheming him. Something happened in their life. Okay. So if they were going to die and they were dying, I can guarantee you they're going to yell out for God. So, and perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. He hates evil and cheweth. He hates it and he's like, oh, yeah, I know he wouldn't, right? Right? Because deep inside, we know that none of those things happen. The earth isn't flat, though, it's partially round. The circle above it actually is proved in that movie, which blew me away. So I learned something new, but it's not fully round either. It's like a snow cone. Oh, uh, Mark just sent me a photo. Let's see what he sent me. I don't believe it's round and I don't believe it's flat. I don't know because I haven't been there and that doesn't really matter. That's not to do with your salvation. Oh, there's the mask. The masked man Biden. Uh, if you guys knew the Antichrist is underneath Biden, I'm going to show you guys a picture of it. You can clearly see, and he's got no wrinkles on his neck, okay? And even the Simpsons show it. So look at the mask sticking out like a sore thumb. Look at his mask, guys. Oh, by the way, Simpson's pulling off the mask, and there's two demons underneath it. Do you know how accurate Simpson's been on all the stuff? And they get it from the Bible. Uh, I already knew this. I already knew this. It's actually not even Biden. Okay. So he was caught one time because they didn't make up it right. And the Simpsons are pulling off the masks of these world leaders. Look at it again closely. Who's running? Who's running? Who's that guy? Who do you think Joe Biden is under that mask? Who do you think that guy is under there? Can you take a guess? You should know, Cormac. Take a guess for me. Wow, that's a mind blowing picture. Mind blowing picture, guys. Who's under that mask? See? Who's under that mask? Yeah, and the Simpsons always predict everything. Everything they predicted, like, has come true. Okay? That's predictive programming. So they also can do that because they can. Who's under that mask? You answered it. That was a day they messed up. I've seen pictures of that too, eh? But never like that's awesome. Thank you, Mark, that you put that together. So yeah, he's getting ready to rise. They're getting ready to pull the mask off of him. Hold on a second. I gotta use the washroom. Anyways, I showed my wife that picture one more time. That day, they didn't fix his makeup right around his neck. That doesn't show all the time. That was a quick appearance, right? So, anyways, people don't understand when I'm yelling. It's not I'm yelling at you, okay? I don't do that. I'm very concerned about people, especially one that keeps coming in here and saying the same thing over and over and said NASA's watching you. You don't think he's my wife's like, "Oh, why would they send a NASA guy on your YouTube?" Because I have pictures that nobody has in the world of the destroyer. And they are coming into the Christians' rooms and they are getting the truth from there. What do you think news people are doing right now? They're searching for the Christians because Christians' accuracy is almost 100%. Mike's accuracy is 100%. Last night he was teaching on something. Today there it was on one of the news things saying there are bigger volcanoes going to happen. They did it to him last week. They do it to him every week. So people don't understand that, and yeah. So yeah, the pictures that I showed there. Anyways, we're going into Job here where we're teaching on Job, right? It's so powerful. So anyways, so he God asked Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, showing you that God tests you through evil? He uses evil for good and good for evil." It says it all throughout the Bible hundreds of times. If you didn't notice, from the beginning to the end of the Bible, it repeats, 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 repeats. Not one thing, many things over and over and over again. Now, if you're seeing that and lining it up, if you're not, in the Bible, underneath each paragraph will be a different paragraph. You want to find the translation on it? I don't have to do that. God gives me that translation on it. Read the next paragraph that it gives you underneath. Then read the next paragraph because it will have one too. And some have like 10 or 15. If you go and read the whole thing and line them up, you'll get understanding. I don't have to do that in everything. I don't even do that. I just guessed that. That's what that's for. And sure enough, some preachers use that. I don't. I wait till Jesus gives me the interpretation. I don't go looking for it. It either comes to you or it doesn't. That's it. You either get the interpretation of it or you don't. And why did Jesus teach in parables? Because he was trying to teach these people and they still didn't learn in parables because they're not of God. If you're not of God, you're never going to understand that Bible because you can't read it out of spirit because your spirit isn't there. Your spirit is in with the worms in hell. If you're already condemned, God knows right from the beginning if you're condemned. Any tree that I have not planted is not of me. Very simple. Cain had his children. He was born of the wicked one. According to Steve Quayle, that's not the way it is. But even to go to tell you, yes, it is. The Bible says so. I put that on Steve Quayle's comment. He ignored it. That Steve Quayle, when I play those, I pay $10 a month to listen to that guy, and he's worth every penny. Just because he doesn't know that and doesn't understand that doesn't discredit him as a Christian at all. God hasn't given him that. God has given me certain things, given another Christian certain things, given you different things, all put together. If all the Christians would quit arguing over their theology replacement, we could have the full answers. But that's why Satan causes division even amongst the church. It comes to the church first. Everything, prosecution, everything comes to the church before anybody else. Oh, stupid thing. Anyways, headset's gonna get wrecked one day, but it wouldn't matter to me because I want to get a cordless one so I can walk around. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, you can. Okay. This one's junk. Anything with a cord, you don't need a cord. I want one I can walk around and talk because sometimes I need to get up because my back is sore. Okay. Yeah. And they know they've kissed his ring already, by the way. So why did he get in? Because maybe he is the Antichrist. I don't know, but I've always thought that from the beginning. I watch they have these masks nowadays. I watch the old guy on Facebook. He's about 23 years old, but he puts on one of those old guy masks. Everybody's out helping him, and he does a backflip. Okay. Their makeup is amazing today. You can't tell if he's 30, 10, or 50, or 70, or 80, or 90. You can't tell how old he is under there. That mask makes him look exactly like an old man. Go and look it up for yourself. The technology in the masks today are nothing. I could put a woman mask on and dress up as a woman, and I can guarantee I could walk in and out of any woman's bathroom and they would not even have a clue. So, do people absolutely realize that some of the people that are walking around in these masks are who is them? If you're wearing a mask, you're a fake person, by the way. Okay, so we're back in the Job story. So then Satan answered the Lord, this is 9, and he said, doth Job fear God for naught? Has not thou made a hedge about him and a hedge of protection about him? So that right there, it's the word of God is so good. It's proving that you, because you're of God, have a hedge of protection, including in transgressing out the sin. By the way, you have to transgress it out. You have to do these sins sometimes for them to manifest themselves because they wait in the deep for that, right? And believe me, an evil can wait inside of you 5,000 years if it had to, if you live that long. And then it'll rear its ugly head on its occasion that needs to be. So you have to sin out your, that's what it says in the Bible. So you can't be, you can't get out the sickness unless you transgress it out. Says it in Job. I'm not saying don't go out and, hey man, I'm not saying it's good to sin at all. Oh no, it's not. Okay. When you're sinning, you're not being obedient and you're transgressing against the Lord. But in some cases, it happens, especially when you're taking out the strong man of your house. On every side, thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. So God is telling you that he's got a hedge of protection over this guy, and he is blessed, and he is prospering, and his substance is increased in the land. That's prospering. Okay. So 11, but put forth thy hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. He never did. Listen, he took away his everything in one day. Can you imagine losing all your cattle, all your riches, your wife, your children in one day and still praising the Lord? That is what we have to get prepared for. We're going to lose everything. This body is getting an eviction. It has an eviction notice and a date is set on it. The only thing we don't know the date, but we do inside. My friend Trevor Jordan said yesterday, I feel the anxieties and the pains and the hurts and the stresses that I know it's coming. I can feel it. Okay. So, and Mark can, and Cormac probably can, and anybody of God right now, well, I'm not saying I'm better than nobody. Okay. I'm sick of this guy coming into my room and trying to put his same kicks in. But I almost kicked him out, but God said, no, let him stay. He's coming to this room for a reason. He needs to go watch that movie. Remember, Mark, the movie I just put on Facebook? So, and I gave it to people that don't believe in God. And if you don't watch it, then you don't believe in God and you're not of God. If you don't give it that hour and watch it and actually learn from the scientists and the people that can prove none of these theories, the Darwin theory actually proves itself against Darwin. The way the way he did that is no way. There's no way that that's real. One species can't turn into another. An apple is an apple. A monkey is a monkey. And God help him. Yes, I pray for him, but sometimes when you come on trying to discredit me, I got a little upset. Yes, I'll be honest with you guys, but Lord's took my key down, and plus I'm a fire and brimstone teacher. You guys know that. I don't sit here and go, and then God came, and God was angry with you. No, Jesus didn't do that either. Have you ever watched the movie when he's turning over the tables and it's righteous anger? Oh, I'm not saying I have righteous anger at all. That was not anger. Okay. Yeah, it proves I'm human. Man, I'm not the best in the world. Never said I knew everything. There's certain things I've been given full thing of, but man, I haven't been given full thing of the whole entire Bible. Man, if you stop thirsting and hungering for righteousness and you quench your thirst is quenched. Let me go to that. Let me finish this first. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is thy power only upon himself. Put not forth thy hand. So Satan went out forth from the presence of the Lord. See, he had to get permission to do this. So weather wars, if God's not going to allow it, they're not going to have weather wars. Nothing comes but it comes through God. You have to ask God for everything. And if he's not going to agree, it's not going to happen. If it's not his will, it's not going to happen. So I don't believe that any of these things that Steve Quayle says, there's another thing. And I'm not going, I love, he's an excellent teacher. Oh, they're starting earthquakes. They're doing this. They're doing that. No, they're not. It says the angels are doing that. You need to read more in your Bible. The angels come to the earth and they break it asunder. Okay, when you're pouring out, the angels are pouring things out on the earth. They're doing it. God's doing it. Nobody can do nothing without permission from our Creator. You can't. And if He's allowing it for a reason, right? So maybe they are doing some of it, but He's allowing them to do it. Nothing comes, but it comes through heaven. Nothing. That exactly says what it says and means it. Nothing comes unless it comes by heaven. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. 14. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them. 15. And and the Sabaeans fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and only am escaped alone to tell thee. Huh, he's taken their servants, everything. Well, okay, so 16. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of God is fallen from heaven. That picture I showed you, the destroyer, the fire of God. He uses it even just for like a group of people sometimes. The fire of God. The destroyer was being used there, by the way. There's destroyers. The destroyers, it says, the ones that take people's souls. So fire from God is fallen from heaven and hath burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell you this. So God had to let one messenger escape to tell him that. Okay. So 17, while he was yet speaking, there also was another and said, the Chaldeans made out three bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away, ye, and slain in the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only escaped alone to tell thee. Wow, he's taken everything from him. 18, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house. It fell upon thee, the young men, and they are dead. And I only escaped alone to tell these. It's the same thing. God says, I send a messenger. If you're not listening to the messenger, then you're going to listen to the destruction of God. Okay? That's why he sends messengers. A warning, warning. That's what we're doing. So he took his children. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head because he knew. And he fell down upon the ground and worshiped God after he's lost all of that. How could that was a man of superiority strength inside of him to be able to do that and not turn on God? Wow. And these people turn on the littlest thing. I lost one child. That's nothing. Nothing compared to what Job. And he said, naked come I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave me, and the Lord have taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. The Lord gives and takes. You see, how could you possibly worship God after all that? Well, you guys and some of us are going to go through so much that we're going to barely be able to stand. This guy, look at how strong he was. He lost everything, house, sheep. He had lots of cattle. He had 4 children or something, it said here, and a wife. He had everything that a possible man could ever want on this earth, right? So, and naked. So he's taken, said, I'm naked. He took everything away except for his clothes. But you're naked when you have nothing and only on one garment. All from there, from having all that down to just your garment, he's seen himself as being stripped of it. Man, this guy felt like this. We're lucky that God isn't testing us like this. That's how powerful close he was to God. We couldn't handle that. If you lost absolutely everything, I have. But that was before I came to God. That was the reason, part of the reason why I came to God, besides being beat to death out of my body and watch it from the back seat of a van. That was the nail in the coffin. I said, this life has got to change. I cannot continue living like this because the next time I'm going to be dead. Do you know I actually died and watched it from the back seat? He took me out of my body so I didn't feel the pain. Didn't want me to feel it the next week. Oh my God. Felt like I was ran over by a tractor and it looked like it too. But I gave myself to God over some of the, and that's sometimes what it takes. Some people have to drag on the bottom, been beaten up and torn up on the bottom of hell in jail and drugs to actually find God because they get sick of that lifestyle and they know something needs to change or that's going to be worse. So we're going to head to Job 2 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to the present This is all I could do. Job has to be taught right from the beginning till the end. You can't just circle things. Okay. Themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. See, wherever you go and the Lord is there, thus is Satan ready to wipe away all that you've done to try to cause you to lose it. But if you're of God and you're giving it out, you're never going to lose it. If you're always filling it up, feeding your spirit, it'll empty and you'll be at your weakest moment. Then Satan does it to me every time when I finally get tired from teaching and reading and listening and learning. This gets me tired. This is a spiritual thing for me. Okay. So if you're not teaching out of the spirit and you're teaching what man says, you're not teaching out of the spirit. Okay. So and the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro. It's repeating itself, by the way, from the earth and walking up and down it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered thy servant? So you notice how it's repeating it? It does that so you kind of eat it. Repeat it, you eat it. Repeat it, you eat it. Repeat it, eat it. Repeat it, eat it. You see, that's how it is, the whole entire Bible. Repeat it, eat it, repeat it, eat it. If it's being repeating, now you should have it in your heart about Job. And some of you already do, Cormac. You already know this story. There is none like him on the earth, perfect and upright man, one that feared God and escheweth evil. And still he holdeth fast integrity, although thou movedest me against him to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, and all the man hath he will give for his life. But to put forth thy hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And he never did. So it's repeating the story again, right? That's maybe why I didn't have us going here. But we need to listen to it again. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from head to toe, from the sole of his feet to the crown, from head to toe. And he looked on him, and he took him, a potter to scrape himself. He took something to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes of everything he'd lost. Then he said to his wife unto him, dost thou shall return thy integrity, curse God and die. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips. He didn't sin at God. He just kept moving forward. He who endureth have everlasting life till the end. Man, this guy endured everything, afflictions from the head to the toe, sores and boils, lost his whole family. Didn't seem like he loses his wife here, but he did. Now that Job three friends heard all the evil that was come upon him, they came every one from his own place, Elizaph and to Tamanite, and and builded Shuhite and Zophar and Naamathite, for they had made an appointment together to come mourn with him and to comfort him. And when they lifted up their eyes afar off, and they knew him not, they lifted up their voice and wept, and they rent every one of his mantle and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven, so that they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great. So they always witnesses there to see things, to testify things. Like I said, when Jesus came out of the grave, 500 people at one time seen him, not including all the other people that seen him in groups and singularity. I've seen him since then too, 6 times in my dreams. So yeah, God help him, eh, buddy? This guy had to go through a nightmare and he still endured it. So, and after this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day, didn't curse God. And Joe, I always that was a horrible day, man. Ugh, I gotta change that. I did something there that was just yucky, right? And Job spake and said, "Let the day perish where I was born, and the night which was set." Uh oh. Sorry. And Job spake and said, "Let the day perish within I was born, in the night in which it was said, there is a man child conceived. Let that day be darkness. Let not God regard it from above. Neither let the light shine upon it. Let the let the darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it." So God just made it totally black for him, man. God bless you too, brother. So as for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Lo, let the night be solitary. Let no joyful voice come from therein. Let the curse that curse that day where are ready to raise up their mourning. Let the stars of the twilight therefore be dark. Let it look for light, but have none. Neither let it see the drawing of the day, because it shut up the doors of my mother's womb, nor hid sorrow from my eyes. Why died I not from the womb? He's not cursing God. He's not understanding fully at the time. He's like, I should have been dead from the womb so I didn't have to go through this. So, people do go, "Oh, why this and why that?" I do it all the time. Why did I sin? Like, how could I absolutely stand in front of God and sin knowing that I hate that sin and I don't want to do it and I'll have to reap it? Now, I cry out and sometimes I don't reap it because I'm crying and crying, but I do reap it here. So God's not tearing your face off to reap things either, or your arm off. And in some cases, he has to go to the extreme to do these things. So this was Job's tribulation that we all go through. If a man that high of God had to go through wicked tribulation, and people say only tribulation saints, you're out the door. Because if you're a saint, you have to, even the evil goes through tribulation. Good, evil, bad, nice, don't believers, they all go through things. You're not gonna, this life ain't easy for anyone. Even the rich man, they're suffering inside their head, but their money means too much. They won't give it up. You can't serve mammon and God. Okay. And easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to go into heaven. So this guy went, "Why didn't I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly?" He was like going, "Wow, I had to go through all this." He's questioning it. We all do. He wasn't blaspheming God and saying, "I don't believe in you." Not once. He was questioning why. He didn't understand that he was going through a tribulation and a super trial. That was great tribulation for him. See, great tribulation depends. Everybody has to go through great tribulations. Everybody, especially at the end. We're gonna have to have enough strength and a foundation totally built on Jesus to get through this. We already have. I see people just I'd rather work for the government. I'd rather smoke cigarettes and marijuana. I'm done with that effing stuff. They're showing their true colors all around me. Okay, so 13. For now I should have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept than I had been at rest with the kings and the counselors of this earth. See, he's questioning everything. Why didn't I die? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? We all do that when we do a sin. We all do that when we're going through a trial. We're like, why? I thought God loved me. He does. He's strengthening you through the storm. Okay. Which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or, or as hidden untimely birth I had not seen, as infants which never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. They don't hear the voice of the oppressor. In this sense, God was control of, he was oppressing Job to test him, to strengthen him. He does that to love you. If you don't be strengthened from the Lord, when these things come, and when your end is come, and when your destroyer has come, or Jesus, or your spirit has come, you aren't going to be strong enough to stand tall. No, stand. So I'm still weak in some of the things. Okay. He wants me a little bit broken. That's the fire, right? That keeps me fire. Every time I do something wrong, I get fire underneath my feet, and God says, "Go out. This is the best time to teach." Paul even said, "Teaching when you're broken." Well, we're all broken. So, not one man on this earth is teaching totally fixed, or they wouldn't be here. We're all broken. We all come short of the glory. Okay. We're all sinners. Even on our best day of being the holiest we can, we are still uh, dirty in the eyes of God. You can never match God. Okay. And we should never try. So let me mark this down where we're at. I wish this one had because I'm going to continue. Hold on a sec. We're going to all go grab your juices and your crackers, by the way, too. Because remember, we're going to do that as much as we can. Right. So I'm going to go grab a pen and my juice. All right. There's some more things I wanted to show. I want to do the quick story because it's a quick story, and I just have to find it again. So, and I made it easy because I sent it to myself again so that I don't have to go over and over and over and over and over it to find it. Okay, so this is a story that we're going to listen to now, and then we're going to take communion. I'm sorry. I feel a little bit bad for getting upset at that guy. I did get a little bit upset, by the way. But I've been very patient with him, okay? So I think he's been in my room about 6 to 9 months ever started since I started showing the true thing that NASA knows is coming, and that's the destroyer, not Planet X, not Nibiru. My wife goes, "Well, would they come into your channel?" Oh, yes. Every channel has someone that watches and comes through and tries to despoil everything. Okay. So you get ready for this story because it's the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful. Okay, this was in 1997, but they also found it in 61. And back then it describes it way better. So this is in 2017. They've changed this because they knew if people knew that this story was real, that they would discredit their story, their fake story that they're building in front of us, and people are watching it thinking it's real. Nothing's real on this earth, by the way. It's a matrix you're living in. It's fake. But you have been put here to find the truth. What's the truth? Jesus Christ. Okay. So, by the turning, and I can prove this to you, this is a scripture. By the turning of things right side up, you will reveal the potter's clay. So, everything's upside down, by the way. Everything is a lie, by the way. And when you can turn it up, that means you're looking up, you will see the truth of it all. Okay? By the turning things up, you will reveal the potter's clay. Satan. He is running the world, the corporations, Joe Biden. Anyway, I don't want to go any further with that because who knows, right? Okay, so let's watch the story. He says it wrong. Matt Ararat. It's Matt Ararat. Mount Ararat. Okay, so and biblical teaching too, right? So, like I say, most everything I like to do biblical. If it's not, I throw it out. Okay, so I'm just setting it. I have to set it so the light is right and you guys can watch. And sometimes when I shut the light out, it even gives a worse picture, but sometimes, yeah. Okay, so where is that? That's there. I'm just setting it up, guys.
In 1948, a Turkish villager stumbled across an unusual formation protruding from the earth in the foothills of Mount Ararat. A recent earthquake had been triggered, and a series of mudslides in the area forced the ancient remains of Noah's Ark to the surface. The Bible tells us the Ark's precise dimensions and that it settled in the mountains of Ararat after the Great Flood. Archaeologists and missionaries have been scouring greater Mount Ararat for centuries, several miles away from the foothills where it was found on Mount Chudhi, which translates in the native Kurdish language to First Mountain. The Bible also tells us that, quote, Noah lived after the flood 350 years, unquote. He must have lived somewhere, and it turns out that we found that too. In 1997, analysis of aerial photographs accurately identified the original landing place of the Ark, upstream of the mudflow it was found in. Surrounding the landing site are the remains of an ancient settlement with the ruins of over 1,000 houses and buildings, presumably Mesha Noxuan, the long-lost city of Noah. Official investigations have revealed the most astounding evidence of all. Thousands and thousands of ancient graves surround the city, perhaps over 1 million of them. It seems that our post Diluvian ancestors must have been returning to Noxuan for centuries to bury their dead in this hollowed ground. It really makes you wonder if there is archaeological evidence to support the fact that Noah's Ark existed, as well as the city he built following the Great Flood, just what caused it in the first place, and what was the reasoning for doing so? Why are over 1 million graves buried at the site, and what compelled so many people to do so? The Bible, as well as other religious texts that at least include stories of a great flood, have explanations, but for some reason, they feel incomplete. It makes you wonder, with all these new findings, what really happened way back then?
Wow. Pure evidence. Pure evidence. Okay. So he lived 350 years. Well, God told him to multiply very plenteous. If you're living 350 years, you're having lots of children. Okay. And they're having lots of children. And that's why they kept coming back there. That is a wow. I don't know how much more proof when the scientists prove the Bible's right and the by it's brilliant, but you should see the story they make up now. If you go and look, I'm thanking God that I saved that because they've changed it and they don't tell about the city. They don't tell about the extras. Oh, it could have been, is what they say. That's proving it was. And I'm glad I saved that 2017. So, um, yeah, them who need the proof. Does it? Some people need the proof, but that's a viperish generation that needs the proof. And some of them, like that scientist, needed the proof, and he did it himself. He went and seeked the truth himself. You don't. He's what I'm telling you. I've seeked it, but I already knew it. I didn't even really watch that show last night for any proof of God because I don't need that. He's given me tons of proof with the prayers he's answered and with what happens that I'm going through this Bible, by the way. You go through it, it's alive. The Bible is alive for you. Okay. When you keep reading it, you're going through these things and they're getting easier. So you're being delivered. So without the Bible, you ain't getting deliverance. I don't care who you are. And I know someone that tries to give deliverance, but she doesn't even read the Bible. So therefore, you shouldn't even be trying to give deliverance. It's not going to work. Why is your house broken up if you're delivering other people? Because you're trying to deliver other people out of what you already have in you. It's impossible to deliver a demon when you have it. You're not going to. You need to work on your inner cup first. Jesus says, clean this first, then this will be clean. Then you can righteously judge. Okay? Because everything's been pulled the mote out of your eye. Did you pull the little needle out of his? Pull the evil out of us before you can pull the evil out of anybody else. That's how it goes. That's why I don't do deliverance. That's another reason why. I know I have a healer. I have everything I need, a comforter, a counselor, and everything else. I know I have that. He is my doctor. What are you gonna do? You got half your arms falling off, and you got a doctor, and you got a nurse. Which one are you gonna run to? The nurse, because that nurse ain't going to be able to suture it up and put everything back together like the doctor can. So my doctor is a great doctor, my only doctor, my dentist and everything else. And he needs to get to work on that. But I'm kidding, right? I mean, God does put dentists and doctors there with that knowledge. Okay. Those have been ordained to be a doctor, by the way. What's that video called? I'm going to have to send this one to you. Okay. Yeah. See, these are tools that we can use to help save people. You're going to be a fisherman. So, how are you going to do it? With the tools that you have. My tools aren't only convincing, I don't have to convince you with my tools. They and God does the work through it. How? Like, what do you mean, how for what? Sorry, I'm going to send this. Hold on. I'm going to send this to you. I'd have to send it through my phone. So give me a second because I have to send it to myself again through my phone and then back to you. Okay. And by the way, I'm going to send this to some people and myself. When I'm done the video, I'll send it to you. Okay. What other video do you want? Oh, yeah. I can send that one to you too. That's the one that the scientists, the bio, and the astrophysics prove that there is a God. Yeah, you see how things come to you, brother? When you have the Lord walking with you and you're interested and you want to know, your counselor will give it to you. Okay? That's proof alone, bro. Okay, so I don't want to do anything but sit around and teach today. My wife's home today. Okay, so let me you have your juice, Cormick? You have your cup full and your cracker with you? Remember, I warn people, I tell people way ahead that we're going to start doing this every day because in the Bible it says do it as oft as can. I'll do it out of the Bible today. Okay. I usually do it because I know it. And Lord lets out everything that I do. I don't do it on my own. So I'm filling up the cup and I'm grabbing the piece of bread and I'm going to do it in the Bible. Out of the Bible today, which I usually don't do. Okay. But that's doing it from God, so it's all good, right? Give me a second. I have to grab my phone. Communion in the Bible. Wow, 40. No. Stupid thing. Okay, so this one's good. We're doing communion. Whoever just joined, you need to go back. There's some wows on here. Even uh, Cormick was wowed about some of the stuff, some of the information that God's given me about him. Okay, so communion. Grab your piece of bread. For I receive it from the Lord what I also delivered to you, that the Lord Jesus on the night when he was betrayed, he took the bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, "This is my body, which is for you. Do this in remembrance of me." In the same way, also, okay, so do it in remembrance of him. We're taking the bread now. So we take our bread and we thank Jesus for all that he went through and the suffering and the pain he went through in his body for us. We take this bread and often some remembrance of what he did for us on the cross. Okay. Jesus says, "Eat my bread and drink my blood." The word is eating the bread as well as this physical. So drinking the blood is also covering you spiritual. So physical, spiritual. We're doing things physically to show God how much we love him, and it's being done spiritually by the heavens, because nothing comes but it comes through the heavens. Now we eat this bread and we thank you, Jesus, that you got pierced in your side and you spread your blood all over for Calvary and the pain that you went on that cross. Man, I can tell you a story about how much pain. This is where all your nerves are gathered and then they spread out. So imagine having a spike go right through the middle of all your nerves. It'd be like lightning bolts. And then this one, and then your two legs, feet, just before the feet is where all this central nerve system is. Right here where he was nailed is where they all are. They nailed it through the most painful parts in his body that you could possibly put those nails. So we take this bread in remembrance, and we do it as often to remember what he's done for us and to glorify him and thank him. We always need to know that. So we take the bread and we eat it. Well, and this is Bible verses, by the way. I'm doing it today from the Bible. Okay. I already know how to do it, but I'm doing it today from the Bible. I'm going to do it periodically from the Bible. Okay. So this cup is a new covenant in my blood. Do this as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. For as you eat the bread and drink out of the cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. There you go. So that I needed to do it by the Bible. You are agreeing by doing this until he comes. So do it as often as you can. It's very important. This is the blood that covers us, covers our sins, covers our homes, covers our cars, covers our food that we eat. When you sit down at the and you eat food, you should bless it, especially this food. It's very unhealthy food that we have, GMO food. You need to bless it for the good use of God, not worldly things. Quit smelling the roses and playing in the bushes when there's nuclear bombs standing over your head. Talk to God and find out who he is, because that's the only thing that's going to save you, not this world. Thank you for your blood that covers our house. Cover this house in the blood of the lamb. You know what? I'm taking it, and then I'll tell you something else. So I buy my grape juice for this. I love grape juice, though. Anyways, sometimes I drink a glass, eh? Because I love grape juice, but there's so much sugar in it. Okay, communion began on the annual celebration of the Passover. Jesus told his disciples to remember his sacrifice as they ate the bread and drank the wine, just as Israel was celebrate the sacrifice of Passover lamb when the angel of death passed over their home, the destroyer. So, believers in Jesus celebrate and remember his sacrifice of our sins when he died on the cross. Holy Communion uses bread as a symbol of the body of Jesus and the wine as a symbol of his blood, like I told you. That act, taking communion, does not save us. No, we know that. It is an act of worship and remembrance. Okay. So that's an act of worship, thanking him, not what I said. It's one of the things. It's a, you know what? It's a commandment. Okay. There's another one I seen today that's a commandment in Job. I'd like to find that before I leave you guys. It was wow. I was blown away. Oh, here's a good one. Job. I'm just going through some here quickly because I don't want to stop teaching. Job 5:16. Behold, happy is a man whom God correcteth. So if God isn't correcting you constantly for the whole entire your life, then you might want to see why he's not correcting you. Therefore despise not thy chastening of the Almighty, no matter how it's done, no matter how he does it, no matter what you've gone through. Don't despise that, because nothing comes but it comes through heaven. Everything that you've gone through has been put there for a reason. God does nothing in vain. Okay. So I'm looking for this one because it's really, really cool. There's commandments that are in the Bible that people don't actually understand are commandments. And when God says you do this, you do it, right? Okay, so 17. It's not it, but I'm getting close to it. My transgression is sealed up in a bag, and thou sewest up my iniquity. Mm, I'm just looking for this one. Oh, this is a good one for prosperity teachers. And a dreadful sound is in his ears in prosperity. The destroyer will come upon him. So the the destroyer angel, my sickle, my reaper. When someone is given fully over to Satan and God's given up on them, the destroyer comes for that one person. Okay. I'm getting closer. I always circle about when it talks about the destroyer. Okay. and God vexes too. Then Job answered and said, how long ye vex my soul and break me in pieces with the words, until you're totally conformed to him. He's building your faith. It's after you go through something, you understand that God is still there for you because he's chastening you. That's why you don't curse it how he chastens you. It sucks to be chastened by God. Oh, here's one 24. He shall flee from the iron weapon, the iron furnace. Oh, that which you have labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. So when you go through a sin, if you turn back and go, oh, I'm not going to do anything, and you're not laboring to get out of it and asking and reading towards the Bible and asking and pleading for forgiveness, he will restore that. Okay. We all make little falls and little trips. It says stumbling on the way, striveth. Doesn't mean it's easy. If you're stumbling on the way for the entire life, you, even though you've done it, you have to ask for forgiveness and he will restore you. He's not a liar. Here's a good one. 1928. But ye should say, why persecute we him, seeing the root of the matter is found in me? But ye be afraid of the sword, for the wrath bringeth the punishment of the sword, that ye may know there is a judgment. So the evil people are going to know there's a judgment, but for some of them, it's going to be too late. Oh yeah, here's another one explaining Jesus, that they were graven with an iron pen and lead in the rock forever. For I know that my Redeemer liveth. So who's the Redeemer? Jesus. Even before the New Testament. Many times it talks about my right hand, my Redeemer, my Savior. He's talking about Jesus Christ. So how the Jews couldn't see that, God had them blinded for that reason, for a reason. They're going to be saved, yes. They're going to realize when they see him and his holes, they're going to ask him, who put those holes in you? And he's going to say, my friends, you guys, is what he means. You guys, my brothers and my sisters and my cousins and all these other things did this to me. You can't preach in your hometown. It's not easy. Okay. It's not easy at all. Okay. So, for I know that my Redeemer liveth. The Word was with God. The Word walked with God. The Word was God. God created him and Jesus. God created Jesus first, and then the evil, the three unclean spirits first, because he had the whole plan set in motion. His game board was ready, and you're on that game board with your tracks, and you will follow them, whether you're good or bad. Okay. So Satan leadeth his children, but God leadeth his children with a showing earlier the pillar of fire, to telling you, it says a cloud and the light comes out of the cloud. Whoever hasn't seen the beginning of this video, you can't tell me that God isn't angered. It's coming out of his nostrils like fire, just like it says when God's anger is kindled. Look at it. It's kindled now. I've been saying this forever, and I heard Mike say, oh, God's anger isn't kindled. Yes, it is. I got a picture of it. I got proof out of it in the Bible. Exactly what it looks like. Exactly what it says in the Bible. I have a picture, thus proving I'm not here to prove them wrong. Some people, us babes, sometimes get more than these wise. I send the foolish, the babes, the weak, the poor in spirit to teach these guys, because they think they know everything. So this is what I wanted to go talk about. Don't let your spirit be quenched. If you think you've got everything and all the answers, you're gonna go through a tribulation and a trial to prove that you don't have the answers. So what did I just say there? I was gonna talk about it. Oh yeah. What did I say? Ah, sometimes I get going and it just goes out of my mind. I've got it on the tip of my tongue. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, don't quench the spirit. Don't quench the spirit. KJV Bible. Quench not the spirit. So, because if you got a hunger and thirst for righteousness for your whole entire life, if you're not hungering and thirst for it, you become a lazy Christian. What happens to the lazy Christians? They get spewed out of the mouth. So if you know there's God, you can't go back to being a cold one. There's only two ways for you: hot or lukewarm. You cannot quench the spirit. Here we go. First Thessalonians 5:19-25 King James Version. We're going to start off at 19. Quench not the spirit. Despise not the prophecy sayings. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good, obtain from the appearance of evil. And so 23, and the way God of peace sanctify you wholly, I pray to God, your whole spirit and your soul and your body be preserved blameless until the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. 24, faithful is he that calleth you, who also will do it. 25, brethren, pray for us. Don't quench thy spirit. So I need to find another one on that a little more explaining. Okay, so that's the same thing. So if you think your spirit's quenched, you're not hungering, thirsting anymore. Get ready, because God's going to put you through, if you're one of his children, through something. Okay, so here's to prove to you the wicked is reserved for that day, because their punishment is going to be great. Why does God need to punish them here on this earth when they're going to go to hell, and he knows it, and he knows the punishment there is 100-fold? So Job 21:30, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction, that they be brought forth the day of wrath. We're not appointed to his wrath. I'm trying to find that one I really want. His eyes shall see the destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. I'm trying to find that. Wow, I have like I say, I don't want to go too far because I have to stay where I'm at, okay? Wow, I want to just keep going. He- Here's one. By the Spirit he have garnished the heavens. His hand have formed the crooked serpent. God created the evil for the good. God created everything. There's nothing that comes, but it comes through heaven. Yeah, we're gonna come upon it anyways here. Uh, he made the snow. He lets the frost. He blows the frost. He blows the wind. God is thunder. When you hear thunder above your head going, by the way, that's God. Okay. They'll tell you, oh, it happened from this reaction or that reaction. The Bible tells you God is thunder. Even Evil does. Kiss, the band called Kiss. They had a record called The Destroyer. And one song on there is God of Thunder. Rock, I don't even want to go because it's evil, right? So, for the destruction from God was a terror to me. Oh, is it ever? Go through the chastening of God, and you'll understand that. I'm sure most Christians here have. And by the reason of his highness, I could not endure. So this was an ungodly person. They can't endure it. They just give up, and they're taken by the wayside. And they go, you know what? It's easier for me to smoke marijuana, swear, and this and that. I don't believe in God. Get that. And that happened to one of my family members, and I'm very, very sad. That's why I don't want to keep talking about it too much. That person has fallen, and yet they blamed it all on us. That's what Satan does. It's not the person, it's what's in them. Okay, so I got to remember where I was here, because we got to start. Like, we have to teach this whole story of Job. Okay, so to my last page where I am now. Wow, such a teaching, such a teaching. And Job is long, by the way, but the Proverbs or Psalms are hugely long, man. Oh, the Psalms are like, oh, that's our next teaching, because we're just going this way. And out of his mouth the burning lamps and the sparks of fire leapt out. Out of his nostrils goes smoke. That is when his anger is kindled. At the beginning, if you want to rewind, I show that in my uh, thumbnail shows God's anger kindled. So when Mike from around the world said his anger isn't kindled, yes, it is. This is proof of it. I've got a picture and the Bible, what it says. So, you know, and I'm not here to point out that mistake. Listen, I love Mike's my favorite teacher. There's barely anything I disagree with him, right? Oh, I'm telling you, man, there's a lot to learn with Job. This is a very good thing to teach the whole thing and not just what I underlined, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. God bless you guys. I hope I can come on soon. I hope my wife goes somewhere or something, right? Okay, because I want to do this much more. Love you guys. Thank you for coming. Mike will be on today. So 5 o'clock Mountain Time. What time is it where you're at, Cormac? It's probably about 7 or 8, isn't it, buddy? At night. What time is it there so we can line up the time for you, right? I forget how many different hours it is. You're in Ireland, I'm in here. Can't wait till the Bible gets to you, brother. You're going to be so happy with it. You're getting this Bible, and the words are super big. So if anybody needs a Bible, anybody hasn't given themselves to the cross, you have to have someone take you to the cross, right? I don't know 2112. I know that that's close to because there's 24 hours. So it's like 9 or 10, right? Yeah, because 24 hours would be 12 o'clock. So 12, 11, 10, 9 o'clock. So yeah, this is what you're getting, buddy. Look at those words. You don't need glasses, buddy. You're getting that exact Bible, brother. Nobody's taking them. I'm offering them, but nobody's taking it, right? So maybe have their own, and I'm glad that the people aren't going, I need one just because it's a big word. If you have a Bible, you have a Bible. If you can't read it, you need to get your glasses. It is 12 minimum after midnight. That's what I said. After 9, 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. That's what I figured. 9 o'clock in your time. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning. I'm coming back on. Okay. So if Mike comes on, and I'm sure he'll come on today, right? Wow. Volcanoes, ocean. I don't even want to go there, man. People don't understand the volcanoes are underneath everybody's feet in the whole world. This is going to be like the worst time ever was, ever will be, or ever will be again. There's going to be more volcanoes and more earthquakes, more troubles because we're going through great tribulation, more everything, and worse than it's ever been. Everything. So they think the volcanoes were bad when they went off back in those days, whenever supposedly they went off to kill the dinosaur, but men lived with dinosaur. Always. Men's had their feet. Why would God build this earth and just put dinosaurs on it? That's doesn't even make sense. And the year ain't billions of years old. The earth is not. It may be 10 to 20,000 at the maximum because there's an antediluvian error, right? So, and that's before the starting of our time, right? As the days of Noah, yep, such as this days, but worse. Never been before, never will be again. Okay. God bless you guys.